Welcome to this Windows channel, and this is the Tech News Update. We are Thursday, December 7th, 2017, and this is a Tech News Update, of course. We have Windows 10 PCs on ARM that were unveiled yesterday, and a lot of people were looking close at the hardware. And of course, one of the things that's noticed is that although performance is surprising, it is not, for power users. But one of the things that some people were wondering is that the same hardware that is in a smartphone that has Android, for example, because Windows 10 could run there. Well, it seems that nope, it's a chipset that is different and specific for PCs that is used in these machines. So that's why having Android phones running Windows 10, it will probably be impossible because of the chipset difference. Well, Steam says that it will not accept Bitcoin payments anymore. It says the currency is way too volatile and that it's kind of difficult. You never know from one day to the next if you'll lose money or not. And they say that the exchange fees are so high that, well, basically, it's something that they just don't want to dabble anymore. So is this the first in a wave of companies and businesses saying, you know what, the Bitcoin, I'm not sure I want to keep that. Apple is really, of course, removing a lot of apps from the Chinese App Store. But one of the things that is interesting is Tim Cook has, without really, making a lot of waves, because they don't kind of want to change anything as what's happening right now, simply said yesterday when some journalists asked, do you think these apps will be actually back into the app stores in China? He just said he hopes that the apps that are removed will one day come back into the App Store. Snapdragon 845 was announced yesterday. Its 845 chipset, which is a much more advanced chip, will include secure mode for biometric data, where all of that data, for example, your fingerprint reader or whatever face scan, will be kept in a secure secure box within the device that will be encrypted and that no one apparently can actually find out. It will have more power to make the phone and apps load and run faster, better battery life, super fast 5G modem, improved image signal processing and better picture, and of course 4K recording at 60 frames per second. That's pretty much what was unveiled yesterday. Now, from announcing the chipset and the reality of what it does in phones, there's often quite a leap. So it's going to be interesting to see the first devices with this in 2018. If you do some mobile banking, some researchers have found that there's a flaw in many apps, and actually it's because of the engine that's running that app that is common to many banking apps. So there's no real list of what apps are affected, but the apps can actually suffer from what's called man-in-the-middle attack. That means to steal your personal data and maybe steal your money, you need to be on a public Wi-Fi to do that. So that means if you are doing some mobile banking, don't connect to public Wi-Fi to do so, as this is unsafe with most mobile apps. But they say it only affects people where they could be on a network with other people. So if you're at home on your home network, or if you're using your LTE or connection, mobile connection, you are safe. It's really if you are using some kind of mobile hotspot. China is a very unique market for smartphones, and it's very interesting because they were looking at the companies that actually are selling smartphones in China, and there's 5 companies right now that actually have 91% of the market. These companies that are in the top 5: Huawei, Xiaomi, Apple, Vivo, and Oppo. And the funny thing is, it's a market where anything can happen. From one day you can go with something new that will become famous to something that will never get off. And an example of that, Samsung not only has a lot of difficulty getting into China, it has 2.2% of the market, but that 2.2% is actually deteriorating. So it means that they're selling less and less phones each year, which also shows how difficult of a market it is. California judge, well, this is the FCC Chairman, sorry. I've actually changed some slide position. So this is the former FCC Chairman, Tom Wheeler, that was there in the times of Obama. And he decided yesterday to not just, stay there and look at what's happening with net neutrality rules. He says that basically it's extremely bad what's happening with the net neutrality being removed by the FCC. He says, simply put, the internet service providers and the big telecom companies have paid their way to do what they want when they want, and it's the worst possible thing for internet users. So that pretty much says it all. Well, we have an update. If you're on Android, there's an update on the OneDrive app that makes it better with a tab bar, updated, UI that makes it kind of more, well, easier to use and a little more interesting to use also. And this is, of course, in a bid for Microsoft to try to have everybody using OneDrive on whatever device. A research team has done some closer look at Facebook. Facebook, of course, trying to make its kind of a year-end review and trying to make it as positive as possible. But the research seems to demonstrate that the first years of Facebook, people were kind of happy and really enjoyed using Facebook to connect with others. But as more and more people are on the service, it has become a place of debate and of fake news propagation, and that more and more people are actually not only not enjoying Facebook anymore, but even thinking of removing themselves from Facebook. Bitcoin is at $15,000. Look at that. It looks more and more like a bubble. It actually gained 25% in value in just one day. This is less likely to be a normal value. And a lot of people are wondering, when that's going to burst, what exactly is going to happen? Because this is going to make some people lose a lot of money. And finally, a California judge has basically refused the case. So some female employees, we talked about that a few months ago. A lot of female employees at Google say they are paid less than male employees. But the judge said, look, I don't see much evidence here, and the request is way too vague. So it's impossible to really know what's true, what's not, and it's just impossible to take this case right now. So this was the Tech News Update for Thursday, December 7th, 2017. You enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and thank you so much for following us on this channel.